Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Floyd Humphreys at FloydHumphreys.com. And today, I just want to ask a question. Is it a coincidence that all of the First Presidency of the LDS Church and the Quorum of the 12 Apostles are all leftists? Now, leftists could be Democrat, Marxist, Socialist, Communist, that. So, is it any coincidence that they're all on the same page? Now, we know that the Democrat Party mantra is basically word for word for what got Lucifer kicked out of heaven. And there is no righteous thing that the Democrat Party believes in, not a single damn one. And, they believe in killing God's children and killing them early, before they're even born. They believe in labor unions, putting a gun to a president of a company's head and saying, you will hire this dumb shit that has no skills, talents, or abilities because of his or her skin color. Just stupid shit. Satan's, purely Satan stuff. And so, if anybody, I would say this, if anybody that's a Democrat claims to be a Christian, I would say they are a liar, and I would tell them it to their face. Because you cannot believe in abortion and be a Christian. You just can't. You just can't. It's not even possible. They can lie. They can go to church every Sunday. They can pay their tithing. They can go desecrate the temple every time they enter the door. They're worthless pieces of shit. That's what they are. And you can just tell by who they are. George Soros, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, on and on and on. They're pricks, all of them. They're all evil, every last one. They're evil. So, here we are, and of course, Trump is our president-elect, and of course, he's not a Democrat. He believes in freedom, which, if you had to describe with only one word the difference between Satan and Jesus, that one word would be freedom. Now, Democrats are all about restricting freedom, and that's what Lucifer was about, restricting freedom. He was going to save everybody, just like maybe making them a robot, or a rabbit or a sheep or something, so that they couldn't sin, and therefore they'd be stupid, but they'd go to heaven to all the highest glories. So a person has to be incredibly stupid to think that a Democrat is good for the country in any position, whether it be law enforcement, whether it be even at the welfare, which the Constitution doesn't authorize the United States government to be a charity. So welfare and food stamps are totally unconstitutional. And actually, it's one of the things that Trump ought to cut. Now, he won't, because there's too many people hooked on the program. But what happens when you make people dependent, it's like the Native Americans, you throw them on the reservation and you say, okay, we'll give every one of you the day you're born a check every month for your entire life. And they become dependent on it. And then they quit being productive. And if you ask a Native American if that's a good thing or a bad thing, they'll tell you it's a bad thing. You just ask Chief Mitiga. So, so here we have the church. They're all anti-Trumpers. In other words, the last thing they want is to make America great again. No way. They want Satan on the throne, is what they want. And you know that they do because they donate to all the satanic organizations. They donate to every last one. They donate to the terrorist organizations, you know, the Antifa, the NAACP, the Black Lives Matter. You know, they joined the United Nations, which Ezra Taft Benson said way back in the day, not only a socialism of the devil, he said, but also he said the United Nations is of the devil. And so it's a purely satanic organization. And so no Christian would willingly be a member. And yet here we have the LDS Church over there with their tongue out licking somebody's butt, you know, to be with the WEF, the World Economic Foundation, or the United Nations, either one. We know that Utah is no difference in their government and their church, and Utah has two 15-minute cities under construction right now. One of them is where the old prison was at the point of the mountain, and the other one is down around Lehi. I'm not exactly sure where, but anyway, there's two of them. The purpose of these is that you will own nothing, you won't need a car, they will lock you in at night like a jail so that you'll be safe, and everything that you could possibly want will be within walking distance. They call them 15-minute cities. You'll have nothing and be happy. And, of course, the church is totally 100% behind this. And, you know, Governor Cox, the lying bastard, you know, he was asked on TV, and he said no, but then they proved that he was a liar, and you know, played his words previously when he was, you know, full on. So Governor Cox is a liar, and of course he put $30 million in his pocket for locking the state down, you know, for COVID. And so, you know, what you've got is a bunch of criminals. And so, you know, when you go to church on Sunday, just think about this. If Kamala was your bishop, would you go to church? How about Hillary? I mean, you know, that's the type of integrity that we're talking about here. You know, we're talking Democrats. We're not, you know, we're not talking about people that want to make America great again. We're not talking about people that want to make the government live within their budget. You know, and you know, so what we're talking about is people that worship Satan. We're talking about people. Well, the two of the companies that the church owns outright. One of them is KSL TV and radio, and the other one is the Deseret News. And in both cases, they told their viewers and listeners or readers or what have you to vote for Kamala. So that's a vote for Satan. And the church is 100% behind it. And, of course, they're not now because, you know, Kamala didn't make it. But because of the landslide, the overwhelming majority of people that did vote for Trump, it means that this forcing bullshit on people doesn't fly. You know, I mean, you know, just keep passing laws and keep passing laws. You know, Democrats get in and they think that's how you prove you're a good senator, is if you get a bill passed. Well, how about passing 0 bills? Or how about removing 2,748 bills every week until there aren't any left? So God can run the universe on 10 commandments, but man has no idea how many laws there are because the number is constantly growing. So if anybody says there's a number, even if they could number them, they can't because they'd be a liar because there's another one. So with everything being illegal and all of the pressures to put people out of business, and just think of all the people that went out of business, you know, during this recent hoax. And, you know, the big box stores were able to stay open. You know, they had little lies that they told and requirements that they had, like you walk this way down an aisle, or, you know, don't get within 6 feet of anybody, or any of that kind of bullshit. when there really isn't even any danger from COVID anyway. I mean, it's a coronavirus, cold, flu, like that. And people can die of anything, I mean, you can die from a ventilator. You can die from remdesivir. There's a lot of things you can die from, but anyway, that's not what this is about. So I just want to know what your opinion is on why it is that every last one of the Quorum of the 12 and the First Presidency are leftists. And why it is that none of them truly believe in freedom, which is what was Jesus's big deal. I mean, that's, like I said, the one word that describes the difference between Lucifer and Jesus would be freedom. And here's something for you, of course, they'll never tell you this in church because they just want to lie to you. They'll never tell you to read Isaiah or anything, because Isaiah says that in the last days the leaders of the church are drunkards of Ephraim, mad dogs. But consider the Ten Commandments. Now, these are from God. Now, God is so into freedom, he's not telling you, you absolutely cannot do this or else the consequences are dire. He says, you go down to earth and live any way you want. I'm talking freedom. If you want to be a scoundrel, be a scoundrel. But I'm telling you that these 10 Commandments, you don't have to keep them. You can break them every day if you want to. The sun won't stop shining if you do. But they have consequences. They do have consequences. But you can live however you want. Freedom. 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 You can enter the United States illegally and rape every minor that you see if you want to. That's why Kamala and Joe invited him in. And so, but the Ten Commandments are still there. Those are, they have good consequences for those that keep them as well as bad consequences for those that don't. But the thing being that we're not obligated to be good. We can be pricks. We have freedom to do whatever we want. That's the way God operates. That's the way Jesus operates. It's not the way Satan operates. It's not the way the Democrats operate. Now, for instance, here's a satanic rule, regulation, ordinance, or statute. It's not a law because it's totally unconstitutional. It's an illegal law, and that's the seatbelt law, mandatory seatbelts. Now, if you're going down the road and somebody runs a red light and hits you in your door and you're strapped to that door, you're dead. Dead. D-E-A-D. Dead. Let's put you 6 feet underground in a box. You're dead. The cop will come up to your door with a gun and say, you damn well better wear that seatbelt. If you don't, I'm fining you $100. I don't give a shit if you live or die. This is some way that we have to control people. And that's why we have it. It's not about safety. Never was about safety. Every car has seatbelts. Every car has airbags. So seatbelts are just totally redundant. Seatbelts have no purpose whatsoever at all. Period. And because it's like that little smock car. Has a airbag everywhere. It's a little shit car. You'd wonder how in the hell could you ever live in a wreck with that? Well, in order for it to be sold in the United States, it has to meet safety requirements, and that means that if you get in a wreck, you have to live. Airbags everywhere. You're surrounded by them. So, seatbelt law is, I would say that any cop that's ever issued a seatbelt ticket should get the death penalty, period. There's just no reason for it whatsoever. It's totally, if you want to wear a seatbelt, fine, I don't care. But don't force me to, because I want to live. I don't care if you live or die. But me, I want to live, So I'll drive a vehicle that's bigger than 95% of all the vehicles out there. That makes me safer. I don't give a shit about gas, mileage. And so, if you want to drive a little itty-bitty car, I don't care. You drive whatever you want. But I want to live, so I'll make choices to live. If you want to make choices to die, be my guest. So, anyway, we have perhaps millions of laws, like the seatbelt law. And so, you know, Democrats do this kind of shit. And, you know, if you, I mean, you just look at Kamala and Hillary, and just, you should just puke. And that's what the Democrats are. And anybody that says they're a Democrat and doesn't believe in all that shit, well, they're just a liar. Why would you be a Democrat if you don't believe in the abortion and then the labor unions and all that shit, property taxes and stuff like that? You know? You know, they say, well, we help people. No, you don't, you lying bastard. It's like welfare and food stamps, you know. Now, they've not only made slaves out of the Native Americans, but they've enslaved the inner city populations. A lot of these have dark skin. Well, so what happens is they give them all this free money, which is totally unconstitutional. Now, you know, it used to be that churches were charities, you know. In fact, the LDS Church used to be a charity. I mean, they lie and say that they are now, but they're not. I mean, they donate, when they donate 20 or 40 or 50 or $100 million to some terrorist organization, that's not a charity, you know. Now, they do have food that they give out to people, and so, you know, I guess that makes them legal. It's like Hillary's charity. You don't only have to give 1% or whatever it is to actually be considered a charity. You can keep 99% or whatever it is. It's close to that. And the same with the church. I mean, helping people is not profitable, you know. So, you know, all you got to do is go downtown Salt Lake and look at all the tents in the parks. And just talk to the people that are pushing shopping carts around. And you can look on my YouTube channel. I did over a dozen different videos in Salt Lake, homeless in Salt Lake, and it's always the same. I ask them, you know, if they've asked the church for help, and the answer's always the same. The church don't give a shit. You know, they're not a charity. It's not profitable to help the homeless. So, you know, I just wonder if you think that an organization that's totally satanic, leaning left, I mean, they hate Trump, they're never Trumpers, they don't want to make America great again, they've made that clear, and they believe in all of the socialist programs that previous prophets have said were evil, from Satan, of the devil. And, you know, I just wonder what you think about why it is that not even one honest person is allowed to be in the Quorum of 12. Why they won't even allow in one. Come on, one? Can't let one honest person in, not even one? Now, what do you think about that? So put it in the comments. And, you know, I've got other videos you can like and subscribe, and I hope you got something out of this, something to think about anyway. And thank you for watching, and have a great day.